Okay, so the speaker for today is Dr. Fatma Öğücü from Turkey. Dr. Fatima, she is a senior consultant at Guinea Antipode Consultancy Firm and a project director of Argoden Governance Academy. She designed and lectured in sustainability governance training programs, and she has experience both in academic environment and private organization. She was a management consultant in process improvement and internal auditor in Mazars. And she's also experienced in academical environment in several areas, contributed to national and international research and papers. She was a member of Middle East Strategic Research Center and Research Center at the University of Greenwich. And she designed governance scorecards, models, and coordinated research programs of the Argonne Governance Academy related to governance in public, private, NGOs, sectors, and globally. She holds her PhD in management with a concentration of governance and corporate reporting, and MA degree in economics and finance. And she has a degree with honor scholarship in manufacturing system engineering from Sabanci University. So the floor is yours, Dr. Fatima.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Wasim, for inviting me to this valuable program. I hope you will enjoy, and I believe that you will benefit a lot from what we will discuss today. As Dr. Wasim told, I'm a senior consultant in sustainability and in an Italy-based consultancy firm. And I'm also a project director and used to be a research director in Argoden Governance Academy that works globally from Turkey to the world. Today, if I may share my screen, just a minute. Yes, here we go. Today, we're going to discuss a different perspective of sustainability reporting. I will cover the sustainability reporting section, and I would like to think sustainability in a broader manner. I will mostly focus on the holistic approach in sustainability, not an ad hoc basis sustainability efforts, which is also valuable, but I will like you to think and experience a new way of thinking about sustainability governance. I will show you good examples from different sustainability reports, and I believe the learning from these examples will enhance the learning process of our own too. Let me start with telling about sustainability governance that I'm going to show you some data in my lecture, and this data is result from the valuable impact research named Sustainability Governance Scorecard. As Argoden Governance Academy, we have developed a model named Sustainability Governance Scorecard. It measures the sustainability of sustainability efforts, which I would like to detail in my lecture, because, you know, as you all may know, as you all are aware of the different sustainability reports, that there are various valuable ad hoc basis sustainability actions, efforts that a company may assume. But I think what is more valuable is having the sustaining those efforts, not an ad hoc basis, but in a holistic approach. In this scorecard model, governance scorecard model that I will show you details, we are analyzing, we have many criteria in many details that you can see all the criteria from the website of this research, Sustainability Governance Scorecard. If you enter in the Google, that you will see all the criteria that I will show you those approach. In this approach, in the sustainability governance approach, the stakeholders is at the heart of the sustainability governance. It should be at the heart of the sustainability reports too. You know, let's think about the sustainability term. It's looking to the world in a broader perspective. It's related to the human. I believe it's very important that we are being responsible too. And it is the circle increase, like being responsible as a company, as a department, as a company, as the community, and being responsible to the world. So stakeholders should be at the heart of all these efforts. You have to create a long-term value to the world, to your stakeholders. So in the model that I will talk about reporting, the stakeholders will be at the heart. And learning, I will show you good examples from all over the world, more than 200 companies that are already, I believe, a global sustainability leaders. So you will show the good examples from there. You can find all the details from the website too. Okay, why the governance of sustainability? I would like to start with discussing the ESG term. You know, when we talk about sustainability, we're basically talking about the ESG in our mind, because the acronym ESG is mostly used for detailing the sustainability. But what we believe is having a governance as the same dimension, as the same important dimensions, pillars like environment, social, and as governance, it doesn't show the integrated thinking. And governance should be above all of them. It should imply that it should cover, considers the economic, environment, and social impacts of all the company. And the governance should be covering all those domains. So it's the essence that you will show the holistic approach in your sustainability efforts. Okay, I would like to say that the governance scorecard and the sustainability governance or the sustainability reports should have 3 basic domains. You have to show in your reporting that your board is responsible. Why you have to show that is the boards, you know, have basically 2 main duty. One is showing the providing the guidance. The second is showing the oversighting the efforts. So your board should be responsible that they can show the right direction, that they can show you the proper guidance about sustainability. So we will discuss the responsible boards. And the second thing is you have to show in your reporting your sustainability efforts. Your sustainability efforts should include your KPIs about sustainability, that your targets, you have to have the targets, you have to measure whether you achieve those targets, evaluate the results. You have to show your performance about sustainability, not only about your company. You have to show, disclose the broader perspective about sustainability performance. You have to show your sphere of influences sustainability performance also, and I will show you some details about the very well-known SDGs. Other than that, I believe that sustainability should be seen as a journey. It's not a one-shot action. It should be a journey. You have to show your audience, your stakeholders, you're seeing sustainability as a valuable journey, as all the journeys they have to have a purpose. You have to show your purpose and how you create value to your stakeholders with a good model in your reportings. You have to show you what's material to your company and how you engage with your stakeholders. Your supply chain sustainability, not only your sustainability, but the value chain and the supply chain sustainability. And what is not, what is the most important is your continuous learning perspective. Whether you learn from your experiences, you develop yourself, you develop your sphere of influences. So in this perspective, it should be seen as a valuable journey that is influencing whole the world. Okay. What is the holistic perspective that I'm talking about? You know, I talk about a holistic, I mentioned this name many already, that you will hear more. It should be holistic. It's like a circle that I will detail in this presentation, all the items that you have seen in your screen right now. I will start with policies. Setting the policies, showing your policies in your reports, in your website. Then defining KPIs, setting targets, midterm, long-term, your results, sharing, results evaluation, how you know, other than sharing your result, you have to show your audience, your stakeholders, how you use those results, whether it's only a measurement tool or it's utilized as a development tool for you. You have to show in your results evaluation section. And then development, how you decide development opportunities. Are you making a gap analysis, or you're just having some money, you just have some money and you make the developments and trainings, not only your company, but your other sphere of influences. And it goes on and on like this. I'm going to start with policies, my friend, and I will continue with implementation, oversight, and continuous learning. Let's start with policies. As I told, in the impact research we have conducted, we have many items that we're looking in deeper perspective. The first, we start with setting policies. We analyzed from US, UK, China, India, South Africa, Turkey, Germany, all over the world, more than 200 global leaders, over 1 billion profit they have, this company is. Those can be named as global sustainability leaders, I believe. Those global sustainability leaders, all of them have policies basically for environmental policy, social policy, and governance policy. But if you look at deeper perspective, like not only having like a climate change policy, but also having a biodiversity policy, the water policy, responsible sourcing, or in the social policy, they might have, your company might have child labor policy, forced labor policy, inclusiveness, data security, which is very important, the customer privacy, it should be very important, human rights policy, health and safety policy, all may have health and safety policy. And governance policy, you may have details like supplier code of conduct, donations policy, business ethics, anti-corruption, executive compensation policy, goes on and on. And we're looking in a broad perspective, all those policies, we're looking one by one. All of them has a ESG policy, but in the details, there are room for improvement even for the global sustainability leaders. I will show you a good example from Goldfields. I would like you to look at the Goldfields website and their reports. You can see all the policies in a user-friendly manner. In their website, they have a section for their policies. You see there are many details There are various policies they have, and you can just click and download it. In the reporting that you can, they have cross references that you can see the policies. Policies are clearly understandable, like watershed policy statement. You have to see it's very clear that every stakeholder can understand it. You don't have to dig. You know, in sustainability reports, there are hundreds of pages sometimes. If you look annual reports, sustainability reports, corporate social social reports, you have seen many reports that you have to understand something. So it should be user-friendly for you to understand, get the message clearly. Goldfields is a good example in this manner. Secondly, after policies that I mentioned, you stakeholders mostly. Stakeholders should be at the heart of the reports in your sustainable value creation model. Though you might have internal and external stakeholders, you may have various stakeholders in relation to your community or your business environment. But what is important, I mean, you might have, at least you have board, C-levels, ambassadors, all employees, supply chain, public authorities, NGOs, investors. There might be more and more. But what is important is that you're putting stakeholders at the heart. Some companies are making it very good. You're seeing the data that we obtained from those research. But what I would like to clarify here is, for stakeholders in your reports, you may have a map of stakeholders, and you can show the objectives related to those stakeholders. Many of the companies have this, but there's a good examples about Marks and Spencer that you can see. In the sustainability reports of Marks and Spencer, you can clearly, this is a basic map, you can clearly see the different stakeholders, and they show stakeholders not a crisis management tool. Excuse my French, but sometimes the stakeholders are seen as a crisis management tool, but they're not. They're the valuable part of your journey or of your sustainability journey, so you have to listen them. And Marks and Spencer show how they listen, what they told them, and what they do related to these inputs. So it's a very good example, I believe, to show you're engaged with your stakeholders and how they give value and what do they do about their inputs. Another thing that I would like to mention is the materiality. You know, every business may have different material issues for their company. Maybe you have heard the integrated reports, value reporting, and you have seen many reports, I believe. What is important is that you're showing the material issues and you're handling your material issues. A good way to show this to your stakeholders in your report is having a materiality matrix. Even the global sustainability leaders, half of them has a materiality matrix. It's an increasing trend. We are seeing that companies tend to have a better understanding of showing the materiality assessment and materiality matrix in their reports, but there are way to go. Half of them has only materiality matrix. What I mean by materiality assessment is, I think this is the way to start to a reporting. You have to know what is material for your company. You have to identify them. What is material in terms of environmental issues, social issues, governance issues, economic issues? You can show them. You have to show your assessment for your company's material issues for your company that you have seen, and what your stakeholders are seeing material issues. the companies are disclosing this information in their reports. You have to do it. There is a good example for this from Evonik. If you see the materiality analysis of Evonik, they have more details, but I would like to show you those materiality metrics. It has two dimensions. What are materials? In the downside, you're seeing what is material for Evonik, and a y-axis, you're seeing what is material for their stakeholders. They get the inputs of stakeholders about their materiality issues. The points that the dots you're saying is all the material issues: digitalization, occupational safety, biodiversity, water management, and there are many material issues. But what is good is in this material matrix, you have seen a beige circles that the lighter beige shows top 10 sustainability issues for Evonik. And the dark beige shows top 3 sustainability issues for the company that you can clearly see from their reporting. It's a very user-friendly version. That the dark beige, climate change, I can see clearly from this matrix that the climate change, efficient use of scarce resources, circular economy, and a more sustainable product for their customers is the top 3 sustainability issues for Evonik that I can see clearly from one matrix. I told you about now policy, stakeholders, and materiality issues we have covered. Now I would like to tell you more about targets, in which I believe that there are a way to go for the whole world too, because setting targets needs to, you have to have a longer perspective about setting targets. I don't mean by that is you have a midterm targets, long-term targets. A company might have a midterm and a long-term targets. I have reviewed many sustainability reports from all over the world, more than maybe for 3 years, around 1,000 of sustainability reports. There are very few examples that setting smart targets for sustainability with a detailed manner. Most of the targets are showing like a good willing. We would like to do that. We would like to have more sustainable. We would like to use less water. We would like to we would like to be more careful about anti-corruption donations, blah blah. But this is not enough for setting targets. You have to set smart targets. It should be measurable, because why you have targets is that you have to measure whether you achieved those or not. If you couldn't achieve those targets, you have to disclose to your stakeholders that I couldn't achieve this because of this, and I took this action points to achieving those targets, or I'm revising those targets. It is important that you're showing this. Whether you achieved, you can disclose this also. Being honest to your stakeholders is the essence, because, stakeholders, the audience, when you're seeing your reports, they can understand it's greenwashing or it's a real report. You have to use this tool, sustainability reports, as a valuable tool to communicate with your audience, with your investors, with your stakeholders. It's not just greenwashing because it's understandable. Be sure about that. You might have different targets about ESG. You're seeing in the screen the details that you might have biodiversity target, employee rights about target, or board diversity targets. You might have various. I will show you a good example about setting targets that I will go back to my previous slides afterwards. The Linde has a very good target setting process. It shows not only the targets, but it detailed how they set their targets. It's very valuable, I believe. They show the priority factors for 10 years. They show their systematic approach about target setting process. They consider the stakeholders, they engage with their stakeholders about setting those long-term targets. And they show their status about their targets. They have 4 pillars in their whole report too, and they set those 4 pillars for targets too. And they align those targets with their SDGs. They show how they achieved this or whether they couldn't achieve this. So it's a very good example that I would like you to go and see the details of the Linda's sustainability reports. About that target, you know, we talk about the holistic approach about sustainability reporting. In your sustainability approach, that holistic approach, we have seen this as setting your material topics, setting your policies, setting your targets, showing your results, and disclosing the results evaluation. If you're doing those, all of them, it shows that you're looking to the sustainability as a holistic manner. Let's detail this a bit. This can be seen from your reports. I mean, we are only looking the company's reports. We're not going and digging the company's inside. We're just looking as a basic stakeholder, as a basic researcher to their reports. And we can see that, let's say about water, we're seeing like analyzing whether the water is a material topic for those company. They have policy. If it's material, they should have a policy, right? Whether they have a policy, whether they set targets for those material issues for water consumption. Did they show the results about water consumption? Did they evaluate the results about water consumption? If they do all of them, they have a holistic approach point. In this manner, when we looked at this, climate change is the most popular topic, and it's mostly assumed holistic approach for that. And occupational health and safety, that you have to do it. Sometimes it's an obligation for companies to adopt. And lastly, executive compensation is a mostly holistic approach assumed manner in sustainability. I'm moving forward from targets and a holistic approach. Another thing that I would like to show, you know, we talk about the holistic approach, and we said that this is a journey. In this journey, you're not alone. It's not only your business. It's not only your department. It's not only your business. It's also your value chain. It's also your ecosystem. And now stakeholders, the audience, the investors would like to see whether you're assuming your responsibility as a sustainability leader. Because as a company, if you have a sphere of influences, you have to use your influences for a good. Today, companies' most important duty is not to manage the risks in their company, but also managing the risks in the ecosystem. So you have to develop your ecosystem. When we look in this manner, you can see the details in the screen too. Mostly the companies sharing results for their companies, but very few companies is sharing the results for their supply chain, for their value chain. I would like to show a very good example about India, about sustainability stewardship. There is a company in India, Hindalco. I think this is one of the best examples that I have ever seen about assuming the sustainability stewardship. They took the sustainability effort as a whole. They have prioritized their stakeholders. They engage with those stakeholders when they're going to make an investment to develop a community. They are engaging with those community members. They're not just only having money and they're not only having money and investing to a village or a community. They're engaging with them. They're asking to them what they need. They have a problem about literacy. They have a problem and development opportunity for healthcare. They're engaging with them. And in the reports, they're showing it, that we engaged. This issue is the most important issue, and we select these villages because of these reasons, and we invested this amount of money. They make an impact assessment also, and they show like for this village, they made investment for educational sector. They show how they increased the literacy rate in the region, the women literacy rate, school enrollment, school attendance. I believe this is a very good example. It's, currently, even the leading companies are making an investment about social responsibility or sustainability without making a pre-assessment, without making a gap analysis, without consulting with their stakeholders. It's important that when you invest, you have to show the impact. You have to create the impact because the resources are very scarce and you have to use it in a good manner for the good. This is a very good example. Please look at the reports. I will, in the guidance part, I will tell you two more things. How to align, first one is how to align your C levels to the ESG metrics. Because as a C level, your compensation, mostly the compensation used to be measured by financial metrics. But now it's changing. It's already been changed. It's going to change more. They're measured by ESG metrics also. We're analyzing those. All of the companies are sharing their executive compensation. Mostly it's linked to KPIs, financial KPIs. That's good. But when you look at the sustainability KPIs for executives, it's very few. Only one of the three companies have a sustainability KPIs for their executive compensation. It's mostly social issues, but it's lessly for governance issues like ethics or anti-corruption or environmental KPIs, environmental manners. It's very important, I believe, because there are very good examples from South Africa that you may inspire. But, you are setting a direction as a board. You have C levels to go in this, making this company to go in this direction. But this direction might be a sustainability target, but you're not giving a KPI in those sustainability manners. There are very good examples that you may see in South Africa, in Anglo Gold Ashanti. While they're setting their executive compensation, they're making benchmark groups. Many of the companies may do it, but they're not disclosing in their reports. Seeing as a stakeholder in their report makes me to feel more confident. So you have to disclose it. In their reports, they're showing the details like they have safety, health, environment, and community measures for executive compensation. They're showing the weight, threshold measures, target measures. It's very good that you have to see the Anglo Gold Ashanti. They show their measures, they show their links. it makes me to feel like the C-levels may go in this direction too, safety, health, and environment and community direction too, while they're managing the company. And the other thing about guidance is, and the last one that I will mention is skills matrix. You know, we have talked about two basic duties of boards. One is providing guidance and always showing oversight to those issues. For the guidance and oversight, if you want to make a difference in sustainability, we have to have sustainability skill in our board, because when we don't have a sustainability skilled members on the board, it might not be discussed in a quality measure. I mean, with quality, with a high quality, with a deeper perspective, and you can set measures to make this company to go this direction. Okay, when we looked at this, this is there's an increasing trend that the boards have more skilled sustainability members, sustainability skilled members. We are analyzing the skills matrix. Skills matrix is a very important tool that you can show all the skills of the board members. More companies tend to have skills matrix, and sustainability is a measure in those skills matrix. Here you're seeing India as a leading country about sustainability skills matrix, and having a sustainability skills in the skills matrix. A couple of years ago, we have a meeting in India with their stock exchange, and we put this thing on the table. It's very important for your stakeholders to see that you're experienced in different dimensions, mostly for sustainability. And we have seen that it's by law now, it's regulated, and many of the companies disclosing the skills matrix in India right now. I will show you a good example in 3 words from South Africa. It shows the skills of the boards, it shows the different diversity pillars, and it shows the skills of the boards. They show the percentage of the collective expertise. This is a good example that if you want to look at more details about 3 words. I'm coming to the second part that I will mention, the implementation on oversight of sustainability, how you can show it in your reports, how you have to, how you can handle those issues, and how you can report them. Remember the circle we have, knowing the results and the results evaluation part. We started with policies, KPIs, and targets. Now we have results and results evaluation. What measures can be enhanced? You showing the results of your measurement. I'm sure that many companies, many leading companies measures the sustainability efforts, that the water consumption or the waste of materials or occupational health and safety incidents, or their compliance or their board diversity measures. But what is important is disclosing them in your report shows that you take this seriously. And the other thing is evaluating them. You know, only measuring is not important, not enough. Why you have many costs in measuring those results, but what is good is analyzing those results. You can do a benchmark analysis for that. You can do a trend analysis for that. Maybe the companies are making it, but disclosing it is important. it shows the trust to your audience, your stakeholders feel more trusted about this manner. When you show that I'm doing the benchmark analysis about water in my sector, as you have seen in the other example, that for executive compensation, I'm making a benchmark analysis. My benchmarks are those companies, blah, blah, or for the trend, I'm showing you my 5 years performance about those results. It shows that you're analyzing it, you're taking actions about this results. I will show you a Dover's example about that. About US manner, this is a US company. It shows the US ethnic diversity, age diversity, gender diversity. You're seeing different levels, different years. You can see the trend. In the report, they're also discussing the results in a detailed manner. So not only measuring, but assessing the measures, assessing the results, and disclosing them is important. About showing the results and results evaluation and targets, I would like to especially mention the SDGs. I think all of the participants know and aware about the SDGs. It's a very good tool to goals to align whole world to one direction. We're looking the reports, whether the sustainability leaders are aligned with those initiatives, with those goals, and we are analyzing SDG as a whole and all the details of the SDGs. For these 17 SDGs, we're looking in details. We are seeing whether the companies are align their strategy, align their results, and set their targets. What we have seen for 3 years, there's an increasing trend about aligning with SDGs. I would like to share an insight about this. When the companies first started, I mean, we're witnessing their journey too while we're analyzing their reports. When they started their journey about aligning with supporting those SDGs, companies tend to support all of them, all 17 of them. Okay, a company might be doing good things for 17 of SDGs, but what we are observing, when the time goes by, after 1 year or 2 years, companies tend to focus on SDGs. They're not aligning with 17 of them, but you know, like what we have talked in materiality section 2, they are focusing on their material SDGs for their businesses, that they can create the impact most. It should be, you remember Linda's example, it might be 4 or 5 SDGs at most, maybe. Companies tend to focus more on SDGs when the time goes by. When we looked at the companies, we looked at the gap. You know, when you align your strategy, you're doing something about those SDG, and you have to show the results of those SDG, how you contribute to them. What we are observing is the German companies, when they're aligned with the SDG, they are showing the results of those SDGs. So the gap is very few, like 4% of companies. But when we looked at Turkey or China, they say that they're aligned with SDGs, but the sharing the results is very few. They might have a way to accomplish these results of those SDGs, but the gap is very huge. When we look at the sector-wise gap, consumer goods, gap in consumer goods is very high, but let's say automotive, pharmaceutical, or chemical or machine and equipment, the gap is lower in aligning with strategy and results of SDGs. When we look at the reports of the global leaders, we are seeing that when you see the color on the screen, it shows that more than 50 companies, 50% of companies in that sector is linked their strategy to the selected SDG. SDG 8 is prioritized for all the sectors that we can say. No poverty. The SDGs, like they're not close to their businesses. They're not close to directly related to the businesses, are adopted less, but these are very important for the whole world. So the companies should assume the responsibility about the word too. Let's say no poverty, or SDG 2 or SDG 16 is the last adopted SDGs in the whole world. There's a good example in China that you can see the details. I'm moving. Okay, the oversight responsibility. You know, we have talked about the two basic responsibility of company of boards: guidance and oversight. You may be thinking that how the company can show the oversight, the board's oversight in the reporting. So you're welcome to look at the report of Anglo-American. Companies, leading companies, shows in the reporting that their boards assume the oversight responsibility. They have various pillars in different angles, and they share the outcomes. Anglo-American show it's very good. There are very good other examples too. They are showing that the values of the company, the material issues of company, is oversighted by the board, and the pillars are shown clearly. About oversight issue, how you can oversight the sustainability issue, not only because when we're telling about oversight of the sustainability issue, you are thinking about community, the value chain, and different stakeholders, because it's very linked. You know, when you're having when you're building a product, you're having a raw material, you're selling it to somewhere, so it's like a chain reaction. It's very hard to oversight all this chain reaction, but there are good tools that you can adopt that I will show you, that you can share in your reports too. Let's see, for your supply chain, how you can oversight is that you can adopt 5 different tool, let's say 5 different tool that you can disclose 5 different perspective that how you oversight your supply chain about sustainability. When the companies start this journey, they mostly start with having a self-declaration from their supply chain, from their supplier. Mostly the companies have a code of conduct, and they're saying their supplier that you have to comply with my code of conduct, and you will declare it to me in a written manner. So they're getting a self-declaration from their supplier. If you go one more step, you can do internal audit control to your supplier about sustainability issue. When you move one step forward, you may have a third-party verification, independent audit for your sustainability issue, sustainability topics. You know, all of the companies are taking a financial audit when we're talking about leader companies. But now mostly companies are having a sustainability audit from a third parties, and they're disclosing that they can do this for their supplier too. There are various certifications that you may require from your suppliers. You have to have the certificates in order to work with me. And the 5 is you can produce development actions for your supply chain. You can make a capacity building trainings, that very good examples about that you can imagine. You can have a remedial actions for high risk suppliers, and you can create a channel for reporting violation and grievances. Let's see how the companies are assuming this responsibility. Even the global leaders have a way to go in this perspective. Most of them, like all of them, having an assurance process for their supply chain, over than 200 companies, and it's mostly compliance. It's mostly like a self-declaration that they're complied with their code of conduct, but there are very few for certification. When they say in the reporting, that I would like to mention in this manner, in the reporting, companies saying that, okay, I'm having a process to assure my supply chain. I require certificates. They have to comply with my code of conduct. But when we're looking the results of this incidents, I mean, we're looking at the clue about the compliance to those methods or number of certificates that the suppliers have, or the results of the third-party verification, is very few. When you want to build a trusted relationship with your stakeholders, when you're showing your process and detailing your process, when you have a proof for it, disclosing the results for it, it builds the trust. So there are ways to go about sustainability assurance process, sharing the results of the sustainability assurance. But it's an increasing trend. It has an increasing trend in comparison to the last year. There is again a good example about goldfields that you can see the details. They show most of the companies show the scope 1 emission. But what Goldfield is sharing the scope 3 emissions for different regions, for the group, and for different years. So this is also a very good example that you can see the results, evaluation trends for different geographies. And there's another good example from Turkey. Most of the companies are making audit for environmental issues, but there are very few audits for social issues. Then there's a tool that you can use. There's an audit type that you can use, ethical and social performance, which is named Sedex Audits. Migros is conducting Sedex audits for their suppliers and sharing the results of this audits. They're not saying that I'm doing just Sedex audits, but they're showing the result that you feel like you can see the success rate or the follow-up audits, follow-up issues for the company. The last one that I would like to mention, I have 2 more minutes that I would like to see. I would like to share fastly about the development, continuous learning perspective in the sustainability governance, how you can show it. Actually, I have shown you one example about Hindalco from India. You know, when you're making a development, when you're allocating a resource for development you will take an action, you have to make a pre-analysis. You can make a gap analysis. When you make a pre-analysis and allocate those resources, and when you make a post-analysis, like assessing the impact, it's a very holistic approach about development. And it increased the possibility for creating impact and using your resources effectively. So you can see it's mostly done for the employee diversity or the gender pay level. One example from Marks and Spencer, and for the trainings, Evonik has a good example about sharing the sustainability trainings for years and for topics. For more details, you can see from our website, that you can see on my website, and we can communicate whenever you like. I have 1 minute too. I would like to show you the results of this about sustainability governance that we are observing, we are analyzing through sustainability reports. South Africa, we are making a scorecard, governance scorecard, sustainability governance scorecard, and we're developing 5 tiers. Tier 1 is the best in class companies. Tier 5 is the less in class companies, we can say. Here we have seen that South Africa is the leading country about sustainability governance. It's followed by Germany, India, UK, US, China, and Turkey. India is an increasing trend in this manner. The last year they have a worse position, but now they increase their position a lot. Having a skills matrix and disclosing a proper guidance increase this position, help to increase this position. When we look at the industries, natural resources, consumer goods, and telecom have higher propensity to be in the higher tiers. And another thing is we're looking whether the companies adopted global initiatives, about sustainability reportings. When you adopt a global initiative, it increased your performance. We are showing this in a database manner that you can see on the screen. We are analyzing UNGC, SASB, IR, and GRI reporting companies, and other companies means they didn't adopt 4 of them, the above 4 of them. When a company doesn't adopt any global initiatives, they're most likely to be in the last tier. But look, UNGC, SASB, IR, or GRI reportings have more than 50% to be on the first or the second tier. So adopting global initiatives makes difference because they make you to report in a proper manner and adopt a holistic approach in different perspectives. Dr. Wessam, thank you for this valuable certificate program. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. I would like to I try to share my experience about sustainability governance scorecard, sustainability governance perspective, and how the reports change, how you can disclose them. Thanks a lot. If there are any questions I can take, I couldn't check the chat box any, but I would be glad to, if I have time.
Okay, Dr. Fatma, thank you so much for the enlightening sharing. So I think we can have few questions from the audience. So please, if you have any question, I think we start with Ms. Ghada.
Hello, and I really appreciate this. This is probably for me personally one of the most valuable sessions that I've attended so far. So thank you, Doctor, and thank you, Dr. Fatma, for your time. My question is regarding environmental sustainability in particular, and how do you put in the proper governance for things like emissions and emissions measurements when in fact there's a lack of suppliers, companies, consultants that can offer this on the ground, particularly for in cases like mine, where it's a holding company with a lot of portfolio companies underneath it. And is the best practice for the holding company to report alone, separate from its portfolio, or in an integrated way? I'm in energy and renewables. I'm in refining, which is fossil fuel. I'm in cement, but I'm also in renewable and in farming in a lot of sectors. So I would really appreciate some insight on that. Thank you, and I really would love to get in touch with you later for more information and support.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. The technical perspective of measuring the sustainability efforts is another topic, but carbon emissions, we're discussing a lot this in Turkey too, with our companies too. It's a trending topic with the taxes and the net zero movement. What you can, there are many companies that have different fields, different industries, different geographies. What I have seen in the best class examples in the reporting, you have to measure them. Of course, you are measuring them separately, but what you can do is showing them separately in your reporting. Mostly the good in-class examples are showing for different regions. It shows, I have one example that I have shown in my presentation too. You can show different geographies. If you're in one geography but different sectors, you can show different sectors, and you can clarify the details in your reporting as well. So it's not an easy job, I know. When you're running a business, it's not an easy job, but disclosing them separately will enhance the trust. Thank you. We can discuss in details more.
Okay, thank you. So now, Mr. Mubarak.
Assalamu alaikum to all. Respected Madam, thanks for your invaluable insight. Extending my sincere thanks to organizer for this opportunity. My question to you, ma'am, what does an ESG score really say about a company, and what are the impact of disclosure? My second question, what are the future of ESG score and the disclosure regulation? Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Wassam. I'm not sure whether I get it right, but the first question is right about what does ESG score means and what's important for disclosing, right?
Exactly, madam, right.
Yeah, good. In our research, this ESG scores relies on the reporting. We defined more than 400 criteria, basically in the pillars that I'm talking in my presentation: guidance, implementation, oversight, and continuous learning. We have details for policies, targets, measures, and etc., or trainings. We are looking not the performance, but whether they disclose this information, because when you start disclosing it, it should be enhanced, because stakeholders will assume digest this information and will require more. So we're looking on the reporting. It's a valuable tool to communicate with your stakeholders. We're checking whether there is a yes or no, 1 or 0, and we have a unique methodology to score them. After scoring, we have 5 tiers. Thus, ESG score means that companies assume the responsibility about sustainability and disclosing the information about sustainability governance, perspective. So it shows that. Can I take the second question again?
The future of, thank you, madam. Thanks for your session and thanks for your insights. And what are the futures of ESG score and the disclosure regulation?
ESG code and regulation, right? What are the features of ESG codes and regulations, right?
Yes, madam.
I have one example about this that I can, what are the features, about this ESG code and regulations. I can give example about India in this perspective and South Africa. Let's start with South Africa. As you have seen in the sustainability governance scores, South Africa is one of the leading country. There is a reason why South Africa is the leading country about sustainability governance, because in South Africa, the publicly traded companies should report integrated reporting, value reporting. I hope you may all hear about integrated reporting. It's a very condensed reports. It's a very good way of communication with your stakeholders about disclosing your sustainability information. They disclose integrated reporting, so they increase their scores in sustainability governance. Another is India. In India, for the publicly traded companies, they disclose skills metrics from 2019. It increased their performance about sustainability governance a lot. So I believe having a codes and starting the regulations about sustainability increase the performance of the companies, whether they like it or not. We're discussing net zero a lot right now. So these kind of things increase the awareness and fosters the action, I believe. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So is there any other question from the audience, from the participants?
There are a couple of questions from chat box. I will, for those, I told a lot, sorry about that. For those, I'm writing my email here that you can contact me and we can discuss more detail if you like.
Ms. Ghada, I
Hello?
think you have
Yeah.
another question.
Yes, and let me just do, here we go. So my question actually is now, so I go back to the currently with a lot of pressures on all companies to try to achieve carbon neutrality or at least decarbonize, which is one aspect, the environmental aspect. When you disclosing where you are at, when you do benchmark, and knowing that it would take sometimes huge investment to try to get from A to B, sometimes within your own operations, as you are very well aware, and it's a long-term change. In a time or a moment, if you're trying to access international financing, this disclosure, while it builds trust, it can be deterring to a lot of things. And I think companies are grappling with how to finance, what to disclose, and how to bridge so that they can get to being able to export, being able to do, especially in more developing countries. So I have that question. I have also a question about what's the best in class structure in terms of a staffing or putting in sustainability. So as a chief sustainability officer, do I report to the board? Do I report to the CEO? Do I report how does that work? And do the points of reporting within the different subsidiaries underneath us or within us, do they do their own monitoring and then report back? And if we aggregate this, how do I compare it? Do I compare it to where we were and where we want to go, or by sector versus the gap versus other peers, or versus? Just there are lots of issues there, but I would again really appreciate some clarification and clarity, and thank you. And I will get your email for whatever you do not get to.
Okay, thank you. If I get it right, I can see from the chat as well, Ms. Ghada. From this, let's start from the best in class companies who they report to. Mostly the CSOs report to the CEO, but you know, what we can tell about, you told about business for sustainability in each subsidiary and holdings. it's a huge investment, you know, having a sustainability measures, analyzing it, reporting it. It's a huge investment for companies, and it's tend to be seen like that. But when they're making an investment financially or profit making investment, they just make it, you know. The sustainability should be seen as a not only a nice to have issue for the boards. For this one, not to see just that investment that's why we're telling from the boards have those skills, sustainability angle, so they can approve those kind of angles, those kind of investments, and they are aware of why they're more important to take care of. When you get data from different subsidiaries of you, you can make a comparison among them by years, by their benchmarks, and it depends of your business, you know. It depends of your business whether you have to do a benchmark or only trend analysis or etc. Do you have any other points? Maybe we can talk more. I'm looking the chat one, but I think you raised hand. We can talk more about that.
No, yeah. I think basically that you've addressed some of just the big questions, especially with the reporting and the structures. But and I do believe there is the difference between what the company sets for itself based on its analysis and the standards we've looked at, right? The reporting standards we do, UN Global Compact, GRI. And that versus what would eventually become expected if you want to export, what levels you need to maintain within all of your products in order to qualify. So I think there is a race between becoming responsible and just the cost of doing business and what is required. So I think your point about training boards is really critical. And getting everyone on the board to understand and to have the right skill set to evaluate and work with us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Okay, so I think we reached the end of this session. So thank you so much, Dr. Fatma, for this interesting sharing. And yeah, definitely this is maybe one of the best outcomes of this training, because that is the future practical steps towards implementing sustainability. So thank you so much, and I would like to thank all the participants. I just here wanted to clarify a few things. The first is that I'm trying to get all the material, and I will be sharing with the participant through email all the materials of the training. Secondly, we will have maybe you can call it a make-up session, which is on governance and leadership for sustainability. And we are trying to get one prominent global leader to speak on that. So I just got an email that he will be able to speak to us on the 7th of June because he's busy. The schedule is very busy. And so I'll be emailing the details of this session as well. So for the time being, I think you can work on the assignment, which again, I will send the details, but I can here just tell a brief where the assignment will be about choosing or selecting an SDG, a local SDG at your locality, at your city, or at your country level to find the gaps, what is being done to achieve. One, it is free. You can select any SDG. And so to find the gaps, the activities being done to achieve that SDG, and what is your future plan and activities to contribute to achieve the SDG at your locality, city, or country level. So this is basically the assignment, and any updates, I'll be emailing to you. I already posted the feedback form in the attendance in the chat box here, and also in the live streaming on the Global Ambassadors of Sustainability page and Dr. Mahmoud Al-Bur'i page as well. So you can fill in the form. So anything, I'll keep updating you over email. We'll keep on touch. And I hope that you enjoy all this session, and also you get benefits from the knowledge being shared. I would like to thank all the speakers and also the participants for joining this program. And we hope that we can keep on collaborating, expanding our networks, so we can contribute positively to this global community and the humanity in general in this noble cause. So finally, can you please, if you are able to open your camera so that we can have a final group photo before we close the session. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. Again, I'll keep you updated, and then we'll see you again, and stay safe and have a good day. Thank you so much. Thank you.